You don't have to break the bank in order to have a good performing fragrance. Sometimes it might feel that way, and a lot of times your really good performers are going to cost a bit more money. It's just kind of how it works out, but it's not a definite thing, meaning, you could spend $200 on something that has horrible performance. And so what we're looking at today is the opposite. We're looking at some cheap scents that actually have amazing performance. These are really strong. And by cheap, we're looking at $40 or less. Some of these are right on the line. Others of them are, like $20 to $25. So we're really sticking with a good budget here, but you're not skimping on performance or anything. These are still going to get you through the entire day and then some. Like I always say, it's important to shop on discounters, especially with these budget-friendly videos, because all of these at retail are going to cost significantly more than $40. So I will link them down below if you are interested. Now this first one, I think over the years it's gone up a little bit in price. At one point it was $20 to $25 for 100 ml. A little bit more now, maybe 30, 35, somewhere around in there. But Ferragamo F Black. Now Ferragamo, they are a great budget focused or budget conscientious, if that's a proper use of that word, brand. So a lot of their stuff is going to be on the more affordable end. There's actually another Ferragamo scent in here too. And one thing that I do find is that a lot of them also do have great performance for that price. Now this bottle of F Black, it's old. I've had it since basically the beginning of my collection. Can you see something weird? I don't know if you can see or not. There are thousands of little floaties in there, and it has been that way, I think, since I've had it. A little bit gross, depending on how you look at it. Don't know why that is, okay? I don't. But, hey, still smells amazing and still very strong. Now, this one was really popular at around the time that I got it when I was first starting out, due to the fact that it was, at the time, like a $20 to $25 Beast Mode winter scent. Now, the thing that has always been a little bit polarizing about this one is how peppery and lavender heavy it is. And some people will say it kind of has like a baby wipe smell to it or something. Don't know if I would go that far, but strong lavender, lots and lots of black pepper. And so you would think that strong peppery spiciness would get you away from that baby wipes comparison or whatever it is that people were saying back in the day. But I could still see where people are coming from, maybe a little bit, just with the type of lavender being used. What I do love about this one so much is just how well it is able to cut through, just slice through the cold winter air. It does a fantastic job. Fresh, summery citrus scents just don't have not only the performance, but just the punch within the scent itself to really cut through cold weather, and not everybody lives in a climate where that matters, and I'm not talking 40 degrees or 50 degrees or something. I'm talking well below freezing, even single digit temperatures, right? Fahrenheit. This one is able to just destroy that type of weather. And again, it's a really affordable one. This next one is Bentley for Men Absolute. Now you could go with Bentley for Men Intense. You could even go with something like the original Bentley for Men. Bentley for Men Silver Lake is also very strong. It's a little bit more summer oriented, but I really like Absolute. I think it's going to be a little bit more appealing compared to something like Bentley for Men Intense, which does have kind of an incense, older style, old manish, churchy type of smell, given the type of smoky incense that is being used. Quite a bit of rum and cedar wood going on in that one as well. Now this one also has a lot of cedar wood, but it doesn't have that smoky incense smell. It's a very dry, earthy, woody cedar wood, pink pepper, papyrus, and actually a little bit of a boozy opening off the top as well. I think it smells fantastic. It's kind of similar to a discontinued Gucci scent, Gucci Pour Homme, and that one, it's an amazing one as well. Just impossible to get. What I love about this one is just the texture that it has, that earthy cedar wood, pink pepper combination really gives it a rugged masculine feel that is kind of uncommon these days with most new releases that are just getting sweeter and sweeter or bluer and bluer in the form of overdosing on ambroxan, right? So this is something that is just kind of going against the grain a little bit. And the fact that you can get this for, I don't know, $30 to $35 and performs this good, has this good of quality, I just think there's so much about this one to like. You know, still could be a little bit polarizing, although again, not as much as Bentley from Intense. So I think this is probably a safer option, but you know, I still do love Bentley from Intense, don't get me wrong. That one has gotten so many people into trouble. I've seen comments and stuff, oh, I listened to the hype and bought Bentley from Intense and hated it. You know, that's one where that can happen. And given that it's so cheap, you know, you might be inclined to blind buy it. And so you just got to be careful. Halloween Man X is up next. Now these bottles are 125 ml, so you're getting a little bit more for your money here, and you're still staying around the same price that we've been talking about in this video, depending on if you get tester or full presentation. Like I always point out when applicable, testers do come with a cap, so if we can get some focus in here at some point, this sticker says tester and came with the cap. So I would do that. I would save the extra, whatever it is, $2, $3, $4, $5, and get the tester, right? So that should drive your price down a little bit on this one, but you're still getting, again, 125 ml, so price per milliliter is a bit lower on this one. It's got a lot of tonka, coffee, nice whiskey note as well, so it's more of a sweeter gourmand style here, kind of getting back to the newer style of men's scent, whereas with actually the first two that we covered, they're a little bit more older school, traditionally masculine. The sweetness from this one, it makes it smell a little bit more up to date, and maybe it will work a little bit better in this day and age. Not that the other two won't, but this is more of a common style. You know, this is something that when you smell this, you kind of feel like you've smelled something like it before, if you get what I'm saying, which is also a very common thing that happens these days. A lot of scents tend to run together, this being one of them. However, at this price point, it's really hard to, you know, talk down on it too much. If it was a, you know, $70, $80 scent on discounters, there would be a different story. But I mean, it's a good performer for an affordable price. It's very versatile for fall and winter time. You know, Halloween Man X, there's a reason why it's so popular. Ferragamo Uomo Signature is up next. So you also get some coffee in here, okay? So coffee, a lot of tonka bean, a lot of leather. Still similar to the original Ferragamo Uomo, which is probably the most popular, I guess it would be. And then probably this one being second most popular. The original is known for this tiramisu almost smell that people describe it as. Very sweet, gourmand, kind of has this coffee caramelized smell to it. It smells phenomenal. And when you hear it described that way, you almost think, you know, is that true? Does it really smell that way? And it really does. I mean, it does have a very intense kind of dessert smell to it. It's delicious stuff. It's one that you just want to keep going back to and smelling, and especially the opening, it really gets your attention. But what I like about Signature is the addition of that leather. It really gives it a little bit more of a masculine edge, and it takes away some of the overpowering sweetness a little, which for some could be too much. But you're also not losing out on performance either. The original is known for great performance. It's a $30 to $35 scent. This one's around maybe $40 or so, 45 maybe, so maybe a little bit over 40, like I was saying earlier, but somewhere around in there. And it still has amazing performance too. Another one great for fall and winter time that's worth looking into. Enzo Jungle up next. Always an interesting bottle. You got the little barber brush looking thing on the top of the cap. Cool looking design here. Definitely a custom presentation. Got cinnamon, cardamom, and sandalwood, and a whole bunch of other notes. Very extensive note breakdown, but those are just kind of the main ones. Warm spices and woods, essentially. And that's kind of what it is. This is kind of, well, it's like a vintage Sauvage Elixir. I mean, not really, but kind of. It's in that vein. Obviously, this has been out way before Sauvage Elixir, but Sauvage Elixir is a scent that's based entirely around warm spices and sandalwood. That's what it is built on. And this kind of has a similar deal. A little bit more of a barbershop aromatic fougere smell to this one, but nonetheless, maybe you could draw a little bit of a connection between the two. but just they're still different though. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is if you've smelled Sauvage Elixir because it's new and it's hyped up and you don't like it, you know, you might not necessarily like this one either. But it's around the same price point we've been talking here, 40 to 45. And I mean, it's a great performer too. And for what it's worth, something a bit more unique and more traditional. So, you know, if you want something different, check this out. We're going to finish this video with Lalique Ancre Noir A La Extreme. Now, this one also is a tester. They got it engraved in the back here. It's got vetiver, incense, and cypress. Very, very woody and dry. Not in the same way that Bentley Ferment Absolute is, but the cypress is a key player. I'm not even going to spray it because it's very strong and I don't want to smell like it right now. I'm not in the mood for that. But take my word for it, man. I've smelled it many times as well. Strong cypress, vetiver, dry, earthy. It's not for everybody. I happen to be in the mood for this one as well. Like I mentioned, this isn't something I would want to wear every day, all the time. And when you compare it to the original Ancre Noir and the sport version, this is by far, obviously, the most intense, the most extreme. And given the fact that it's another affordable one with amazing performance, I mean, it just had to be in the video. You know, could be a little bit daring, but just make sure you know that as you're going into it. Again, the good news though, you're not really breaking the bank with this one either. So if it doesn't work for you, at least you're not out a ton of money. Alrighty guys, that's gonna do it for me. Some cheap fragrances that actually have great performance. So you're able to not spend an arm and a leg and still get a product that's gonna stick with you throughout the day rather than disappearing within 2 or 3 hours or something. Like always, you know, performance is highly subjective based off of skin chemistry. And so if you normally don't get good performance, you just might not be in luck, right? So keep in mind, these work for me. Nothing is going to work for everybody guaranteed. There's other options out there too that you could explore as well. Now, if you're looking to try before you buy, we don't have any of these fragrances on our website, but we do have a lot of other designer and niche scents, all of the hot popular ones right now that everybody are talking about. You could try before you buy over at decantcenter.com. We'd love to earn your business and help you out, save you from making a costly mistake of blind buying something new or something expensive because, well, I mean, kind of no surprise, and I've talked about it many times, and it drove me to do something about it. Fragrances are just getting more expensive, right? And they're not going to go backwards now. I just don't see them putting out expensive elixirs and parfums and then just drop the price on everything new. I mean, at what point does it come to a point where it stops? I don't know. But things are getting expensive out there. So if you just don't want to commit to a full bottle right away, check out samples. We have most everything in 5 ml and 10 ml, right? And we're adding to the website often. We're kind of sticking with the in-demand stuff right now. And then as we get caught up on that, we'll start filling in some of the older stuff that has been around that a lot of people have probably smelled, but would still be nice to have on there anyway. So like all the new releases for the year, all the major ones we've got on there, and some other hot stuff as well. Again, adding to it all the time. Free shipping over $49. Great rewards program that's definitely worth signing up for. We ship every day of the week all over the US, so you don't have to wait long to find your next signature scent. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.